Okay, welcome everybody to our Program Operator Consortium webinar. Just to give you a little bit of background in the event that you have not been involved to date about what our consortium is about, our main goals are really to provide more useful environmental product transparency solutions and to reduce the complexity in the marketplace by trying to accomplish three things: by standardizing how LCA-based standards are, so for how they report product environmental performance and how they get created, by providing improved reports to help decision makers specify those materials and products, and combining efforts to improve access to and recognition of manufacturers' product transparency reports. We're going to show you some of the things that we've moved forward in the past year, and so with that, I'll show you our agenda. So my name is Christine DeJohn. I am with ASTM International. I'm our Director of Business Development here, and I'm going to be serving as the moderator through the session. Today we will be introducing our new program operator members and affiliate members. Four of them specifically will give you a bit of an overview regarding their organization and why they have joined on board. So we have Tara Layton from CSA Group, Nuna De Silva from ThinkStep, James Bogdan from the National Ready Mixed Concrete Association, and Kara Watson from Sustainable Solutions Corp. From there, we'll then cover the new transparency catalog and give our program or product category rule program updates. So Terry Swack and Kim Lewis from Sustainable Minds will be presenting that, and then we'll move into Q&A. So as we move forward here, I would like to introduce Tara from CSA Group.
Thank you. Okay, so as Christine mentioned, my name is Tara Layton, and I'm from the Canadian Standards Association. CSA is an independent not-for-profit association which is dedicated to developing standards and providing certification and testing to advance the safety, sustainability, and social good in the world that we all operate in. We are Canada's largest standards development organization, and we are accredited by the Standards Council of Canada. We are internationally accredited, and we operate internationally in many regions of the world. We develop standards in various areas, including sustainability, industrial equipment, plumbing and construction, electrical, medical and health and safety, gas and appliances, alternative energy, and various different areas. So we like to say that you're surrounded by us. So pretty much if you walk into your kitchen, most of your appliances, your electrical outlets, lots of things that you touch and operate on a day-to-day basis, and billions of products have been tested and certified by us. I work with the Environment and Climate Change Group, and we develop standards relating to sustainability and business excellence. So some of the work that we do and some of the standards work that we're involved in involves holding the Secretariat for the International ISO Technical Committee for 207. This is the main body that develops environmental management system standards, including ISO 14025, which is the standard that governs how PCRs and EPDs are developed. Could you advance to the next slide, Christine? Christine, could you please advance to the next slide? Thank you.
There's a little bit of a
delay.
So
as I said, CSA Group. No, that's fine. As I mentioned, CSA Group is internationally accredited, and we've been around for almost 100 years now, and we have many years of experience in sustainability and environment. As I mentioned, we hold the TC 207 Secretariat at ISO, And we also have the standards mirror committees for many of the steering committees under TC207. So we are intimately involved in all of the environmental management systems standards development processes. And we represent Canada's voice at international level. We take most of those standards that we develop in sustainability and environmental management systems, plus other areas that I spoke of before, and we use our testing and certification division to test and certify according to those standards. And we essentially, in terms of the EPD area, we assist clients with completing and registering EPDs in accordance with the ISO 14025 guiding principles in a way that clearly demonstrates our environmental legacy with regards to making sure that your products and services are as environmentally friendly as possible. So CSA pretty much provides a comprehensive, tailored, full-service solution that can help you achieve your goals, and in this case, specifically your environmental goals. That's a little bit from me. Thank you, Christine.
Thank you, Tara. And we will move forward now to Nuno from ThinkStep.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. So as I was asked to give a few words on ThinkStep and also the reason why we joined the Program Operators Consortium and what we expect from the activity. So ThinkStep, we are the world's kind of largest product sustainability company. We have two softwares, GABI, which is widely used to carry out life cycle assessments and associated types of calculations, and SOFI, which is kind of the equivalent for corporate sustainability, all the way from greenhouse gas management, GRI reporting, and so forth. So, and all of that is supported by an underpinning of a consistent data development and services approaches, so that we all provide a full integrated solution in terms of sustainability. So essentially, as a mission, we kind of aim to enable companies to be successful sustainably, so that they can develop their sustainability programs with the best tools, data, and services available currently in the marketplace. Next slide, please. So can you, thank you. And why did we join the Program Operators Consortium? Essentially, we are how can I say, the organization within the general ecosystem that actually provides the tools and the data to that underpin the generation of the vast majority of EPDs in North America. And therefore, anything that within the overall scheme that can simplify, standardize, and align approaches across the industry is something that not only benefit us in terms of what we need to do in order to support everyone in their work, but also tends to improve the quality of results that are generated, hopefully getting to a point that EPDs are actually comparable and meet their promise of providing transparency in terms of what is the sustainability profile of specific products. What we aim within the consortium is to actually provide input from a technical expertise point of view to strike the right balance between quality, speed, and transparency. And of course, to over time align our provision of software and data as well as services according to the different guidance that is generated by this group and others. So as much as we can to actually make sure that everyone is doing calculations and showing off the results and the benefits of their own products the same way, with the same underlying types of data sets and softwares and approaches and calculation and methodologies and all those kinds of things, then we'll be in a better position to actually put out, how can I say, kind of higher quality results. I think that was it from my side.
Thank you very much, Nuno. Okay, now we will move into James Bogan from the National Ready Mixed Concrete Association.
Hey, thank you very much. Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me. You can hear me clearly? You can hear me clearly? Okay, excellent. Hey, my name is James Bogdan with the National Ready Mixed Concrete Association. I'm a Senior Director for Sustainability Initiatives. A little bit about the NRMCA. We are the industry voice from the ready mix industry, and there's hundreds of producers. There's thousands of plants that we represent. We do represent a big portion of our industry. Not all of them are members, but we're still trying to create value to make sure we acquire more members within our association. There's a lot of production of concrete that's happening every year, and really what my responsibility is, through the various range of companies that are part of our membership, from large global organizations to small, medium enterprises that may only have a local footprint. Really, it's my responsibility to prepare them to understand trends of transparency in the marketplace, whether it's environmental disclosure, social disclosure, governance disclosure, and how do you integrate those practices within the organizations. Now, they have a lot of capabilities themselves, but we want to make sure that we're delivering value to them and being on the forefront of these industry changes. And so that's what my primary responsibility is. And if you can go on to the next slide, I'd appreciate it. And really what we see with the consortium and our interest in the value of participating and being an affiliate member, we've been celebrating, I guess we could say celebrating 5 years of encouraging our industry to disclose environmental impacts of our products, initially participating in the PCR development in early 2012, publishing a couple of different versions of our industry-wide EPD, utilizing our EPD program network to verify company-specific EPDs. We have, say from an industry perspective, been very proactive, and we believe we have a leadership position. We want to maintain that leadership position. So, we want to align ourselves with the experts, with the practitioners that can keep us informed, and in our ongoing efforts to make sure we're creating value for our members, to keep them informed, to keep them educated, and keep them, to encourage them to continue with their comfort level of transparency reporting. And as well as we want to make sure that our members have access to the service providers that can support their disclosure initiatives. We are an EPD program operator, but we're unique is that we align ourselves with the experts out there. And many of those experts are already part of your consortium membership, that we utilize them for the LCA studies and the EPD drafts and verification of that, and we make sure the logistics and the information is exchanged from hand to hand has the value specifically for our industry. Another reason why our interest in the value we see of the membership is from a long-term strategy. Our PCR expires next year, and through the blessings of the Carbon Leadership Forum, we want to transition that PCR to a more permanent home. And I think within the consortium, we'll be transferring that to one of the members of the consortium. And it allows us some flexibility as we move forward to determining what is our role as an EPD program operator for our industry, how we maintain that, or how do we potentially move it over to somebody else in the future. So that's where we see the alignment with us and our industry. So thank you very much.
Thank you, James. Now we will move on to Kara from Sustainable Solutions Corp.
Great, thank you everybody. Sustainable Solutions is very excited to be a part of the Program Operator Consortium. My name is Kara Watson. I am the technical manager for the corporate sustainability team here at Sustainable Solutions. And SSC has been around for about a little over 15 years, and it was started by a man named Tad Radzinski, who was the US EPA waste minimization expert. And he was going to hundreds of manufacturers all around the country and just noticed there was a huge opportunity for these manufacturing facilities to really reduce their environmental impact and footprint through energy opportunities, water reductions, waste reductions, which ultimately lead to cost savings as well. So Sustainable Solutions was founded, and we have 3 different divisions. Corporate sustainability is the team. We've been working with life cycle assessments and EPD development specifically in North America since around 2011. We were one of the first companies to assist a manufacturer to publish EPDs here in the United States when there really wasn't much guidance on how to develop a product category rule or publish an EPD over here in North America. But we don't just publish EPDs. We really like to utilize this life cycle assessment data to really identify opportunities within manufacturing and research and development to really optimize and reduce those impacts for the future generation of products and processes. We also integrate this information into our buildings team, where they go and review the operations of buildings, as well as manage assets and do condition assessments for buildings. But above everything that Sustainable Solutions does is we really like to provide the training and education to everyone that we work with so that they have the tools and understanding for the future so they can really reduce their environmental impact and make the world ultimately a better place. So, next slide. Sustainable Solutions joined the Program Operator Consortium, and we are very excited to be an affiliate member because we're having started from 5 years ago with very limited guidance here in North America on how to develop PCRs and seeing the industry mature. We're very excited for having all of this collaboration during the development of PCRs, and we're hoping to help prevent redundancy and repetitive PCRs out there between very similar product types and industry groups. And this is really going to help our clients understand transparency a little bit more and understand this whole complicated process, as well as it will help streamline our process to be able to get this information out to the world with quality results. And because we're really founded with using this data to really help reduce impacts ultimately with that goal to optimize products and use this knowledge for the future. We're excited to help for this LCA data to become transparent and consistent so that we can really drive product innovation and continuous improvement within our own manufacturers, but also across industries.
Great, thank you, Kara. Well, welcome to our new members. We're very excited to have you on board and look forward to working with you in the future. So with that, we will move on in our agenda to talking about the new transparency catalog, and Terry Swack and Kim Lewis will be co-presenting these sections.
Thank you, Christine, and thank you for everyone who's attended today. I'm super excited about our new program operator members and especially our affiliate members. And thanks to James, our very first industry association member, I think this our goal of aligning the industry as the consortium is really moving along. And I think a lot of people are getting inspired by seeing that they can participate and have a seat at the table. So welcome all the new members. So at the beginning, Christine talked about what our goals for the consortium are, which is to create standardized, easy to use, and more useful product transparency solutions. So you can see as a consortium, we're working at the very granular level of data and rules, and we're also working at the very top level of when it's all rolled up, how do we make the efforts that manufacturers are making, investing in product transparency, how do we make those efforts pay off for the manufacturers? And then expressly, how do we enable architects, engineers, contractors, designers, building owners who really do want to build higher performing, greener and healthier buildings? How do we make it easier for them to find those products that will help them do that? And finally, how do we actually support the green building rating systems who are incentivizing those building professionals to build higher performing buildings by offering credits in these various rating systems to essentially instruct them, this is what you need to do to achieve the goal of higher performance. So that's all kind of the backstory for why did we create a catalog just of products with transparency information? And the answer to that is that, when the USGBC conceived of LEED v4 and kind of made product transparency the cornerstone of this new version, it was in response to saying, look, single attributes of reporting, like recycled content or indoor air quality, those are all important, but they're individual attributes. And the move towards product transparency and using scientific disclosure, research and disclosure techniques like LCA, like Type 3 environmental declarations, and certainly on the material ingredient reporting side, the goal was to look more comprehensively. And so what we've found from working in the industry for several years now is that the manufacturers who have been early adopters of product transparency and have selected the products to create disclosures for are typically either the products that really are their highest performing, greenest, and healthier products, or they're their best selling products. And they're trying to support the market in continuing to be able to specify those products. And almost without exception, manufacturers have gotten the other certifications, those single attribute certifications for those products. And when you start looking at those products, you'll find that they have those. So, our goal as a consortium is to create more value for product transparency. It also turns out that transparency is really a lens into the actually best products. And so that's why we said, look, let's make a catalog that only rewards manufacturers who are stepping up to invest in product transparency, and let's really reward them for getting started, for doing more, and make it easy for them to get their products in front of potential customers. And so really, we've designed a solution to create this virtuous cycle of supply and demand that we hope will accelerate the actual manufacture of greener and healthier products, and the result being that they are seeing success in bringing those to market and the market accepting those. And so part of what the consortium is able to do and what Sustainable Minds is able to do as part of the consortium is to not only have manufacturers, EPDs available in their own website or also in each program operator's database, but to bring them all together into one place. Again, working together collaboratively is more powerful than working individually. And so now, whenever a manufacturer works with a consortium member, they get a free listing in the transparency catalog, which is accessible right from the Program Operator Consortium front page. And the consortium and Sustainable Minds is doing a lot to bring attention to the catalog from AEC professionals. And so what a free listing does is it drives people directly to the manufacturer's website, and you can link directly to the EPD from the consortium member, and there's no login. We don't really want to put a barrier ever between an AEC trying to find a product, getting access to the disclosure, so it's always free to the end user, no login required. Our goal, Sustainable Minds, for the Transparency Catalog, and again aligned with the consortium, is to make product transparency information first findable. That's a big problem. Make it easy for people to find those manufacturers' products. And then to make product transparency understandable and meaningful. And so as we build the catalog and manufacturers continue to participate and create more transparency information, there will be an increasing amount of information to contextualize just the disclosure information. And the next phase for the catalog is then to put that data to work, to be able to build projects and compare products, map to rating systems, and really build an application, a destination, a tool set that really helps people make better decisions. And I really want to emphasize, it's not a database. Like, don't think of this as a database. It's a commercial, consumer-friendly, making things understandable, very visual way of presenting what is such technical information. And for those of you, and some of you who are on today's webinar have become familiar with the first release of the catalog, what we did was say we just wanted to promote all the brands who have done something. And if you go to the catalog front page, we've just listed all those brands right there on the front page. And every brand that you see that's in bold is actually a consortium member customer and has a free listing, and you can click right in and get access to those EPDs. All the others have free listings, and some have featured brand listings or standard listings, but the free listings are manufacturers who have done some kind of transparency disclosure, either environmental or material, and we send you to their website. We're doing a service for the marketplace to say, look, this manufacturer has transparency information. You got to go to their website to find it. It will be useful for the manufacturer to upgrade and actually put links to their products here in the catalog. It'll get their products in front of folks who care, as well as make it a better catalog for those folks who care. But our intent is just give everybody visibility, and let's get started. Now, next month you'll see we're going to turn on the filtering capabilities, and again, aligning with the consortium goals. It's all about making things simple. It's already complex enough as it is. The catalog will always be simple. There's only two use cases. Find all products from brands who created transparency information. So it's filter by brand, which was what we've built. The next filter is find products from all brands in a product category. And that's it. Those are the two filters, because people are looking for products with transparency information. They're not just looking for disclosures. And so the design of the catalog is very visual. And in a glance, you'll be able to see all the brands who have products and all the disclosures that they have with kind of the key attributes of those disclosures, links directly to the disclosures, again, no login, expiration date. So kind of all the salient information somebody needs right up front, and then can link into that product information. At the top end is the featured brand, where our transparency reports and other transparency products integrate more content about the product itself, as well as what the manufacturer is doing to improve. And so when the filtering turns on, let me preface this by saying there's never going to be any advertising and never going to be any sponsored content. The way that manufacturers come up higher in the search results is because they've included more information about product performance and what they're doing to improve products. The standard listing allows the manufacturer to, again, we link directly to the manufacturer's website. You can call them. You see the information that they have, the products by CSI master format, the disclosures that they have. This links directly to the page in the manufacturer's website. These link directly to the EPDs or the declare labels, and a little bit more information about their commitment to transparency. And because we as a company want to keep things simple, high value, low cost, and transparent, manufacturers can add their own Google Analytics to their listing pages to keep track of the stats and usage of the page. And that enables us not to have to deliver that service and, again, keep the cost low and deliver a lot of value. The last thing I'm going to say about the catalog is, our intent is as transparent as the story that I've just told you. It really is about rewarding manufacturers and helping people make better decisions. Manufacturers provide the info. It's their analytics. It's not ours. We will report to the industry interesting trends we see about access and traffic. But again, shared with the industry, we will never sell data or analytics of any type to any third party. This is manufacturers' data, program operator consortium member data, and we're putting it all together for the benefit of the marketplace in the spirit of doing what we all want to do. Which brings me to the next section, getting back down into the kind of technical underpinnings about the PCR work. This is a 1-year anniversary, a little bit after 1 year of the Program Operator Consortium. And we announced our formation at Greenbuild in 2015, so that was November of 2015. We've really focused our work year one on bringing all the program operator members into alignment around what we are looking at creating a national standard program, and not just national, but regional, which is why we're so excited about CSA Group becoming a member, because now the program operators who are members really do represent a North American consortium and not just an American, not just a United States consortium. And so I want to bring us back to the original intent laid out by ISO 14025 about being a program operator and the kind of intent behind that. So there are a couple key things this is right on the front page of the standard, because everything we talk about in terms of developing the program are rooted in this guidance. So we are working to harmonize different programs into one program, ultimately, and Nuno pointed out, to meet the desired ability to do comparisons down the road. And so by coming together around one program, because unlike in Europe, where there's a national program operator for each country, that's never going to happen here, but a consortium of program operators who align around a standard program and have a seat at the table, and the shaping of that program and its evolution is our best answer to having a national program operator. So we don't need mutual recognition. We're all working together to create one program. The other key point in the introduction to 14025 is to consider the information needs of the purchaser or user groups. And collectively, we feel, and really this was at the seed, at the germination of this program, that we may have lost a little bit of sight of that intent of providing information that the end users can actually understand and use. And several times the standard says those responsible for developing Type 3 environmental declarations, which is what they're technically called, and programs pay due attention to the level of awareness of the target audience. And so, translating that into simple terms, make things that meet users' needs, and still provide the technical rigor and underpinnings that mean the data that's going to get provided is good quality data. And at the end of all of it is this overall goal, which is to create demand for and supply of those products that cause less stress on the environment. Again, this is the objective of the transparency catalog, to create preference for those products that manufacturers are really putting the effort into improving. And so in the Type 3 environmental declarations, you want to provide good quality LCA results, LCA-based additional information that's relevant to share, to assist purchasers in making informed decisions and encourage the environmental performance of products. So today, the Technical Advisory Board has really grown from where it was a year ago since the consortium formed. Sustainable Minds, I'm going to tell you the backstory of the program in just a minute, but the core of the tab was about eight members that we assembled when we started this program. And now, as each program operator enters the consortium, they have representation on the Technical Advisory Board. And additionally, affiliate members have the opportunity to have representation as well. And next year, we'll be introducing more of the kinds of engagement that affiliate members will be able to participate in, again, to be able to shape reporting for their industries, and certainly the technical members contributing a huge degree of knowledge to the continuous improvement of the program. And so Sustainable Minds two-part PCR framework, which we wrote originally starting in 2014, was written to have a continuous improvement process so that every year updates to Part A get produced. So there's an annual version of Part A to maintain harmonization and alignment with what's going on globally in the standards industry and what's going on generally in the marketplace. And so there's a very structured process for collecting input over the course of the year. And Q4, the tab goes through an evaluation of the collective input, what's happening in the industry, and goes through a pretty significant review process, discussion process, to then produce the next annual version of Part A. So 2017 will be the third annual version of Part A. And actually tomorrow is the Q4 tab meeting where the tab will make decisions about what's going to go into the 2017 Part A. And some of that is being included from the draft guidance from the USGBC. Again, so looking out into the marketplace, what are people doing? What are they talking about? We actually included all the guidance from the ACLCA PCR guidance document into the program as it was relevant. But the backstory for the program is that when we started it, we looked at what was happening in Europe and said, there's a trend towards two-part PCRs. There's a trend towards regional standards. And so we looked at that work and said, okay, we're going to use it, but we're going to build something for North America from the ground up. And the folks who created the first program, and Ute Meyer being the tab chair, is works in Europe and in North America, and so is able to have that purview. And the other piece to it was thinking about the ISO 14025 guidance, which is, think about the end user, deliver information that's useful, help with comparability. We said, look, we think there's been a little bit we've lost sight of what content really should go into a Type 3 environmental declaration that helps people make decisions and have a preference for those products versus lots of technical information that has just really found its way out of the LCA report into also the EPDs. We like to say, if a Type 3 environmental declaration is a report of the LCA report, then it shouldn't be so long. It should really just have the salient information to report environmental impacts and the other information that talks about the product and what the manufacturer is doing to improve. So when we created the Part A, we created a very rigorous and strict set of content requirements of what should go into a Type 3 environmental declaration created in this program. And what Sustainable Minds did was said, look, we're really going to be rigorous about not allowing more LCA information to creep into the Type 3 environmental declaration. We've really got to have this litmus test of, does it pass the threshold of helping somebody understand the environmental impacts and how the manufacturer is improving the product. So what we did was we designed our own Type 3 environmental declaration. We called it a transparency report because ISO 14025 says a program operator can call their reports anything they like. And we said it's going to be different. It's going to be in the cloud, no more encoding data in PDFs, and it's going to be very specific. It's going to be short, no more than 3 pages, and we're really going to focus on the manufacturer's ability to tell the stories about what they're doing to improve. And so through the adoption of this program and transitioning it into the consortium's program, consortium members have now reviewed and updated this last version, the 2016 version of Part A. 2017 has the expanded tab. And what we've done now is standardize the creation of any type of Type 3 environmental declaration. Manufacturer can choose whatever format they like. They can create a transparency report, which is our brand of EPD. It's in the cloud. You can create a PDF version, but it has the same content requirements. No matter what the format looks like, it has the same content requirements, just the format is different. And any program operator consortium member can verify a Type 3 environmental declaration in whatever format it's created in that comes out of this program. And as a result of doing this work, we have continued to focus on these questions. How much LCA content should actually be in a Type 3 environmental declaration? When is full compliance with EN 15804 required? And now 21930. What content really is useful to make better informed decisions? What content do people want and need to do whole building LCA? What are the challenges for manufacturers to deliver LCAs that comply with different programs, standards, and guidance? They're significant if everything is different. And the same thing with LCA providers. If PCRs are always different, then there's always new rules and new things to be sure to do. In doing that LCA, it makes verification more costly because everything's different. And there's kind of just this ongoing look at, well, what are we really talking about? And it brings us to the USGBC guidance. And before we talk about our feedback to the USGBC on this current 2016 version of the guidance, it's rooted in our feedback that the consortium gave the USGBC in 2015 in response to their first draft of the guidance. And so the process was that we took the Appendix C, the content requirements for a Type 3 environmental declaration, and did a side-by-side comparison of ULE's Part A, because it called for that in the guidance, as well as the additional Part B requirements, as well as the additional USGBC requirements on top of that. And so we just did a comparison of what's all the stuff that they're calling for that's in addition to what we already have stipulated in our Part A. And so this is the result. I mean, this is literally a picture of all the additional content that's required in what the USGBC guidance was calling for, using ULE's Part A and B and their additional guidance. We put it all on one page, and this is a web page. So really, this is about 3, 4, maybe 5 pages of 8.5 by 11 of additional content. And then we further did some analysis of all this additional information that was being called for, how much of it was directly tied to EN 15804, how much was from the ULE templates, and what happened when all that stuff got combined, what really was common and what was additive. And it's kind of complicated. So when the USGBC came out with their next version, Kim, who will take it from here, Kim Lewis, who is the Transparency Report Coordinator and really now the technical coordinator for the consortium, took this next evaluation process forward, and she's going to take you through what that process is and what the tab and POC results were to this draft.
Thanks, Terry. So for the 2016 version of the guidance, to create the first draft of the document, first I did a gap analysis of what was in our Part A versus what was in the guidance. And if there were topics that the tab or the Program Operator Consortium had covered in the past, I repeated that input in a response. And then for topics that we hadn't yet addressed, I asked for their input. And then I sent that document out to the tab and the POC members for a 1-week review period, asking them to read through each line item, make comments, and then highlight whatever items they wanted to address with the group. So then we had a meeting to discuss those high priority comments, and then later voted on issues that weren't resolved during the call. And then I edited the response document according to everyone's comments, and then recirculated it for another 1-week final approval period from the tab and the POC members. Our objectives and intent are aligned, so both organizations are working to provide more guidance, increase the number of EPDs, improve quality, develop tools, and the thing we're most impressed with is the benchmarking guidance, which we're already considering adopting for Part A 2017. Our key feedback to USGBC can be paraphrased as basically don't stipulate the use of one program operator's program, especially when we've already evaluated that program and think that it doesn't support our goals. Don't require additional content that doesn't support users' needs, and let's all work together and write guidance for all program operators and their programs. So we are currently reviewing our comments with USGBC, and we plan to integrate guidance that we find additional and valuable, and we will only include updates to our program that helps meet our goals. So now I'll give you an update of the PCR landscape. If you'll remember, back in June, we created the North American PCR catalog for 2 reasons, the second of which being to inventory and benchmark the state of PCR development. And so what's the current state of development and what does the future look like? In the past 6 months, the number of EPDs in North America, or the number of North American PCRs has increased from 51 to 61. There are no new program operators. There are still 13 addenda to European PCRs, which are not North American PCRs. And there is still only a small number of PCRs relative to the number of master format divisions out there. So these PCRs that are expiring, it gives us an opportunity to update them in our standardized program. 12 PCRs expired this year and weren't renewed, and there are 10 more set to expire next year, 2 being addenda to European PCRs. So POC members are currently developing 4 PCRs, and the number in development by non-POC members is still unclear, since update planned and update initiated aren't very well defined. So looking ahead, more PCRs from the consortium are being planned for 2017. And with that, I'll hand things back to Christine.
Thank you very much, Kim and Terry. That was a great background and thorough introduction to the catalog and giving us those updates. So with that, I'd like to move forward and briefly give everyone a snapshot of the membership opportunities with the Program Operators Consortium. So if anybody is interested in becoming an affiliate member, so you're aware of the types of organizations that have been engaging, they would be industry membership associations, any government agencies, data providers, standards developers, consultants. We do have a forum on our website that allows you to contact us for putting in your application. Just so you're aware of some of those benefits, first and foremost, it allows you to get exposure as a proponent of a simpler and standardized, more useful solutions. But you also do have access to discounted rates for working with the members, access to expertise. You have the ability to educate members on product transparency, and then you're also contributing to creating uniformity across the reporting format, data requirements, and communication. Sorry, Kim, that went out, or sorry, that went out of presentation. So just on the last slide here, we wanted to allow for any questions that you may have to any of the presenters or just generally. We didn't get any questions through our app here. So if you wanted to take a moment to put a question in there, I know we're coming up to our last few minutes of the scheduled webinar. Our website is www.programoperators.org, and on the right there you would see the contact option. You also see a contact here on the screen. So we welcome any questions afterwards or any interest in how to get involved through that forum through the future. If anybody's interested to become a member, please feel free and reach out.
Christine, I also might add, like, go to the Program Operator Consortium website to access the PCR catalog. It's free. You can always see the PCRs that are in development by the consortium. You can actually see a list of EPDs that's easily accessible from the consortium, as well as access to the transparency catalog. And you can download the Part A and keep up with the news from the consortium. So watch for more content there.
Thank you, Terry. So we did have a question come through. So the question is from Susan Hines. What was ThinkStep's experience with the USGBC pilot program of the ULE overlay docs? So Nuno, I'm not sure if you're still with us. And
he's dropped off, but we can follow up, Susan, with a response to that.
Great. Yeah, Susan will connect you with Nuno. All right. Barring no further questions, thank you very much for participating in our webinar. We hope that it was very informational and helpful for you. Feel free and visit our website and either to contact us or to check out some of the other information that's on there. It's very, very useful. Again, programaoperators.org. And with that, we will conclude the webinar.